YouTube! Today we're traveling back to the medieval European times, where we're going to talk about animals being put on trial. That's right. Animals, not humans. We're talking about animals on this one. Let's hop into it. In medieval Europe, mostly between the 13th and 18th centuries, animals could be and were put on trial. The idea, if a human broke the law, they had faced punishment. So why not a pig, rooster, or a group of rats? There were two kinds of trials: secular trials and ecclesiastical trials. In secular trials, your standard town court often involving domestic animals like pigs or cows. Ecclesiastical were church courts went after things like rats, bugs, or my personal favorite, demonic termites. Oh, and the punishments? They weren't light. We're talking about hangings, excommunication, and public floggings. If a person could be punished in a certain way, then so could the animals. Our first case, the pig of Falaise, France, 1386. A pig allegedly attacked and killed a 3-month-old child. The townsfolk were horrified, and so began the trial. The pig was arrested, placed in a jail, and even given a lawyer. And not just any lawyer, a well-paid, highly respected defense attorney. Because even in 1386, pigs had rights. After witnessing testimonies and some squealing, the verdict was in: guilty of murder. And the punishment was going to be a public hanging. Now, this was a public hanging. People from all around town would show up to witness the pig's punishment. They even brought other pigs to the event to possibly serve as a deterrent. They even went as far to have the pig clothed during the process, like it had on a human clothes during the entire process. The executioner even put on new gloves when it was the pig's turn to be executed. This was to emphasize that the act was one of justice and not violence. Our second case, we're going to Switzerland. Switzerland, 1474. A rooster lays an egg. Yeah, that's a big no. People thought anything unnatural was the work of Satan. So this rooster obviously dabbled in the dark arts. The rooster was arrested and put on trial for sorcery. The superstition held that eggs laid by roosters could hatch a terrifying creature known as a basilisk. You know, the snake-looking thing from Harry Potter? The rooster was brought before the courts. The prosecutor argued that it was a minion of Satan. The rooster was even assigned a defense attorney, even though he would not defend the rooster, as he already thought that it was guilty. The prosecution accused the rooster of witchcraft and wanted to burn it. And the verdict was in. The rooster was found guilty and burned at the stake. The poor bird went from egg extraordinary to Kentucky Fried Curse in 24 hours. My skin kind of crawled that I even said that. I apologize. Now we get to what might be the greatest legal defense of all time. In 1508, a French town sued rats for destroying grain supplies. They were formally summoned to court. Yes, summoned. Like, dear rats, kindly report to court on Monday. The rats didn't show. So the defense attorney, a genius named Bartholomew Chasseneuil, argued that his clients were, number one, they were spread out across the countryside, so all of them couldn't attend. He further advised that the rats would need ample notification to be able to attend court, just like they would give anyone else involved. So the courts agreed to hang summons notes further around town so that all of his clients could get notified. And number two, the rats were at risk of being attacked by cats en route to court. This was the second go-around in court. The rat's attorney stated that the reason his clients didn't show up for court was due to being in danger at the court steps. The court steps had several cats around, and we all know what would happen if the rats showed up to those court steps. Amazingly, the judge agreed, and later the trial would actually be dismissed. I'm sure that this guy got very popular afterwards. I mean, if you can save a group of rats, imagine what else he could do. The guy was a genius. played the courts like a fiddle. Why do people go through the trouble of arresting pigs and excommunicating termites? There's three big reasons. Number one was religion. Animals were seen as part of God's world. If they sinned, they needed spiritual judgment. Number two was symbolism. Trials reinforced moral order. Even a pig wasn't above the law. Let's be honest, nothing else was on TV. This was pretty much the Super Bowl of the medieval times. It was also a way for communities to make sense of tragedy. If a child died from a pig attack, putting the pig on trial helped the town cope and restore control. Let's rapid fire a few more cases. Beetles in Italy in 1545. They were charged with crop destruction. Defense asked they be moved to a different field. Termites in Brazil, early 1700s, put on trial for destroying a monastery. Verdict? The monks were told to relocate the termites humanely. A sow and her piglets, 1457. The sow was executed for killing a child, but the piglets, or accomplices, were acquitted due to the lack of intent. See, it was common for people to let their children roam freely back in the day. This particular child walked right into the path of a mama pig and her piglets. The pig attacked, and the child was inflicted with fatal damage. Medieval justice was wild, but it also reveals how people tried to bring order to a chaotic world, even if it meant cross-examining chickens. Alright, I am Cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and if you'd like to further support the channel, consider becoming a member. With that said, I'll catch you all in the next one.